Hey guys, welcome back to Tack and Track. I'm Brad.
And I'm Gil, and today we're going to be going over our top 5 guns from Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Cold War, and Vanguard.
Coming in at number 5 on my list, the Magnum Research Desert Eagle. Extreme cartridge really packs a wallop. It's 6.5 to 7 inch barrel, and we can see this one right here is ported. Brings it a level of accuracy not typically associated with a handgun, more in the range of a small light rifle. This guy does bring in some serious downsides. For one, it is incredibly heavy for a handgun, precluding most people from carrying it around on a day-to-day basis. You do not want to carry this every single day on your hip. I promise you, you won't have pants left at the end of the day. Other downside to this is it is extremely expensive to buy, own, and shoot. But it is an absolute blast, brings some serious firepower to the table, and if you need a handgun to hunt bears with, this is the best pick for the Call of Duty series.
Coming in at number 5 for me is the 357. In the game, it's just called the 357. We assume it's modeled after some kind of Smith & Wesson, maybe a 6.86. Today we have a Taurus Brazil to show you. This one is a 6-shot double-action revolver, just like the one in the game. And it shoots the 357, which we have here in front of a 9mm. You can tell there's a big difference there. This 357 is about 450 feet per second. Packs a big punch. It is smaller than your rifle rounds that you're used to. If you've got these in a rifle, it's likely a lever action. But it works well in these guns. It's interchangeable with 38 Special. If you have a 357, you can run either. And being a double action, as you pull the trigger, it pulls the hammer back for you. Where in a single action, you must pull the hammer back in order to pull the trigger. Cons for this gun is your capacity. It's only a 6-shot, which isn't a problem if you can reload as fast as they can in the game. In the real world, you're not going to be able to do it that fast.
Coming in at number 4 on my list is another gun from IWI, the Israeli-built Uzi. Uzi's chambered 9mm, absolutely fantastic carbine of the Cold War. Why it's not in Cold War, that I can't tell you guys. So the No, not that thing. The IWI Uzi is an extremely good submachine gun. Unfortunately, we couldn't have one here with us today, and we'll talk a little bit more later about transferable open bolt machine guns like the Uzi, what it takes to own one, and we'll go through that. But today, we're here to talk about fantastic guns from Call of Duty. The Uzi is an extremely controllable machine gun with a fire rate of around 600 rounds a minute. That makes it not only extremely controllable, but also useful for a little bit longer range engagements than what you're typically used to with a submachine gun. The Uzi, however, does come with its own drawbacks. One of the major drawbacks of the Uzi is, believe it or not, its weight. It weighs in at quite a portly 7.5 pounds. The one that we're showing you right now is even heavier than that with the foregrip, the shortened barrel, and the red dot attachment on it. Comes in at almost 8 pounds. That puts it close to the weight of a stripped down AR, or not too far off from an AK. However, the Uzi is an absolute blast to shoot, incredibly fun, and with a 32 round capacity, has plenty of firepower.
And I was surprised by the accuracy. My number 4 pick is the German Mauser Model 98. Now this weapon is a 5-round capacity turnbolt. This design is what you'll find in pretty much every bolt-action rifle that you can buy today, all based off of this weapon right here. developed by Peter Paul Mauser and Wilhelm Mauser. This weapon came into service about 1935. This particular one is a 44 model. Downside to these is going to be the costs. This one right here, closer to 2 grand, but they go all the way up to 10 grand depending on their historical value and matching serial numbers. And another thing to talk about with these weapons right here is the round that they fire, the 8mm Mauser. The reason that's important is sheer size. So I have here 223, I have 308, and I have 8mm Mauser. This Mauser round right here, you'll remember that you shot it the next day. Really a blast to shoot. It doesn't kick as bad as you'd think it would for its size, but with this metal buttstock, you're gonna remember that you fired this weapon.
And guys, if you've ever been sniped by one of these in Warzone, thought it was totally and completely overpowered, leave a comment down below. Coming in at number 3 for me is the SKS. These guys show up in the game as both the SKS and the Type 63. These were originally manufactured right after the end of World War II, 1945. You see these in production in a lot of places. The Russians gave these out as candy, basically, throughout the Cold War, as war aid to all kinds of countries, such as North Vietnam and North Korea. These fire a 7.62 by 39 cartridge, which is a very good intermediate cartridge. Packs a really good punch. Is fairly accurate, especially at ranges less than 300 yards. Now, some of the downsides to the SKS. One is its size and length. It does come in a little bit long for what we're used to today, and it is a little bit heavy. Especially if you pop out the bayonet here. It is quite sizable with the bayonet. I think these guys also have a 10 round capacity in their standard magazines. They do make detachable magazines for these, but unlike Call of Duty, when we see detachable magazines for SKSs, they are only semi-detachable. They are very, very difficult to change, and I actually personally prefer the standard 10 round magazine fed by stripper clips. One thing I will say too about these guys is they are surprisingly accurate. Especially for 1945 Soviet technology, these things are great. They also are incredibly cheap. Now, prices have been creeping up. A few years back, one of these could be had for about $250. Now you're going to pay about $450, $500 for them. But I still think they're absolutely fantastic rifles to own and shoot.
Coming in at number 3 for me is this right here, the SIG P320. Now this is the M17. There's also the M18 version, which is a little bit smaller, which was adopted by the Marines. This one features an extended magazine, which you can get in the game, so you can have all the capacity that you want. It's got a pick rail on the bottom, so you can mount a flashlight. And this one even came from the factory with a red dot on it. This one also features something that you'll find a lot of guys are swapping to, is the gas pedal. which is an area for you to hold your thumb so you can keep the barrel down as you're shooting and keep on target.
I do like the gas pedal.
Right?
Because I took my thumb off of it and I missed, and I was like, oh yeah. And then they just stay on target a lot better.
The downside to this particular weapon is that it's in 9mm. Now you can have this in 45, and that's what I would suggest. You're going to run a little lower capacity out of that weapon, but have a lot higher stopping power.